Yeah, we're good.
Good?
Yeah.
Alright. Shalom. First and foremost, we want to say
Kahala Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai Ba'achim Rakakadash.
double honors to the apostles and the elders of Greek millstone.
Yeah.
Salutations to the elect, pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. You get Matthew's, we'll read Matthew 22. We'll read that chapter. Because, you know, this is about forecasting the marriage, the upcoming marriage. Okay, because Yahweh Shai is coming back, and he's coming back soon.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, this is the truth and it's going to happen. So the question is what are you going to do when if I'm not mistaken, the groomsmen or when Yahweh Shai comes to bid the marriage? You know.
I got a scripture for you. You know, just saying that Yahweh Shai is coming back soon.
Yeah.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 18. And it said, "Behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh, and to visit them that dwell upon the earth."
That's right, man. You have to look beyond your nose to see that Yahweh Shai is coming. You know, our people lack foresight. They can't see the things that, if it's not right in front of them, they're not going to see it. They're not going to believe it. Which means also that they lack faith. How can you not look at the state of our world, this society, and not think that the Son of the Most High, Yahweh Shai, is coming back, and he's coming back soon? You know, because our people will look at the state of our society, see all the wickedness that's here on the earth, and they'll acknowledge that he is coming, because I read it in the book. But if you say he's coming soon, they're like, man, that's been said how many years before you? But you're telling me Yahweh Shai is gonna wait until what? Until when? Man, we breathe chemicals. We literally, you don't even know, but the same water you drink out of your sink can be the same water that you shower with, or the same water that you flush your shit with. We're in that kind of state where you actually don't like when you take your eyes from when you take it and you look at it in an objective perspective, it is a blessing that we're still alive. It really is. How the hell can you breathe and function well? We can still work out, be athletic in a society like this, with all the type of chemicals and poison that we're inhaling.
Yeah. It's the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 54 and down. It says, "And he said also to the people," this is what Yahweh Shai said, it's in red, "When ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, There cometh a shower, and so it is."
That cloud, by the way, represents, or Slacky, go ahead, finish that up.
And it says, verse 55, "And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, There will be heat, and it cometh to pass." Right? So people, when they read the forecast, they know what it's going to be like tomorrow. They know that it's going to rain for this upcoming week, or it's going to be hot, or there's, there's snow. Right?
The clouds are looking a little dark gray, so we're going to get some rain.
Exactly, right? And it says, verse 56, "Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and the earth and of the earth. How is it that ye do not discern this time?"
Yeah, con. And he was so bold about it. He was brutally honest about it because it's that obvious.
Yeah.
It's literally that obvious. If someone came to you and said, that's like, if someone came to you and just for a simple metaphor, someone came to you and said that, yeah, the sky is red, and you're like, well, no, it's not. It's clearly obvious that it's blue. That's the wickedness of the society. You know, the nonsense that goes on here, both internally and externally, is confusion. I'm a trainer, and I train clients. Sometimes you fuck around with people, you know, with what you know. And I'll ask people this question. I say, which of the two is better? To lie to yourself, and not lie to others, or would you lie to not lie to others and lie to yourself? About 90% of people that ask will rather lie to themselves and not lie to others, which is twisted in itself. You know? But that's the state of everybody. That's the state, and that's why they don't want to see it. Some of them are willfully ignorant. Most of the people on this planet actually are willfully ignorant, especially our people. They're all willfully ignorant. They know that Yahushua is coming back and this place is destroyed, and they know that it's coming soon. But like you read, like the brother read, they'll sit there on the TV and know that, oh, I can't go fishing this weekend, it's gonna rain. But they'll come talk to the men of the Lord, and they'll tell them the truth, and they will forbear it.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything that is of anything in a great matter or small. You know, and so just like what the brother is saying is that our people are willfully, you know, being ignorant to the fact that, you got to consider the times that we're in, man. And the scripture says not to be ignorant of anything, whether great or small, man, because everything matters. You know, every single thing matters, man. There's a reason why, you know, everything is playing the way it is right now, man. You know? And so we're living in a time, you know, when Yahushua is about to return very soon. And how do we know that? Look at the state of the earth and the prophecies of the scriptures, man. The prophecies, it's what's pretty much telling us the time that we're in, man. You know? We don't know the exact same date when Yahushua is going to return, but we know, okay, he said that when these things come to pass, then you know that your salvation draws nigh, man. You know?
And honestly, there's no reason, if you're sincere, if you were truly sincere, you wouldn't care to know when the exact date or time Yahushua is coming. Because you Jakes, you wicked ass Israelites, only want to know that because you want to know how long you have left to be wicked. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, you want to crap. You want to wait until the end and then get right.
Can't.
You know, but that's not how the Lord works, man.
That's right.
You know, the scriptures and the Lord, it's all about, you know, do you have faith in me from the beginning, man? You know? Because our people only want to get with the program when it benefits them. You know, at a time when all hell is breaking loose, that's when they want to come and find the man of the Lord. That's why the scripture says that, that in the day of that power, that people shall be willing, man. You know, they're going to be willing to come and seek for answers, but that's too late. That's not how the Lord works, man. You can't play the Lord. You can't make mockery of the Lord, man. You know? You know, going back here, it says, ye hypocrite, ye can discern the face of the sky, of the earth. But how is it that ye do not discern this time? Yea, and why even of yourselves judge ye not what is right? You know? And it says, when thou goest with thine adversaries to magistrate, and thou art in the way, give diligence that thou mayest be delivered from him. Lest he hail thee to the judge, lest he hail you to the judge, deliver thee to the officer, and the officer cast thee into prison. I tell thee, thou shalt not depart thence till thou hast paid the very last mite, you know? And so pretty much telling you, man, know what time it is, man, because we're going to get into a time where our own people are going to look to sell us out, man.
Yeah.
You know? Our own family members are going to look to sell us out.
Well, like you said this earlier, or like a while ago, the script's already written. We're just playing it out. So our family members, and Jake, really in general, they already have it in their mind. It's just timing now. They're already ready to plot against us and give us up for their own safety or a false sense of security because they lack faith. You know, everything repeats itself. What is that scripture that said that where Pontius Pilate, where he said, I find no fault. Are you guys sure you want to do this? And let the blood be on our head.
Yeah. They pretty much, said that, should we let Yahushua go or Barabbas? Yeah. And the people said, let Barabbas go, man.
Yeah, Barabbas. Yeah.
And then, he said pretty much that, that this man is innocent, man, But at the end of the day, our people put that curse on them where they said, what? Let his blood be upon us and our children. And just recently, there was a video of a young Jake, that was pretty much, he was charged with an assault, man. A young Israelite boy, because they were playing dodgeball at a park, and he was charged with an assault, you know what I mean? And so when our people said, let his blood be upon us and our children, that does not, the judgment that happened to the nation of Israel does not exclude children, man. It includes everybody. It doesn't matter how old you are. Hence why, right? Hence why some of our children, they get kidnapped by these Edomites and then they get tortured. And then for the rest of their lives, they're fucked the hell up, man. They're still Israelites, but that was the judgment that was placed on them. Now, those children might have been the exact same ones, that actually, right? It might have been the exact same ones who actually were there forefront putting hell on Yahweh, but, by their words, man. Spitting on him and shit, man. And killed the prophets, And so the Lord does everything, that is just, man. Perfectly, he does it, Now going back, you want me to read Matthew 22 and 1?
Yeah.
And down, right?
Yeah, I'll read that.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 1. And Yahushua answered and spake unto them again by parable and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they came not, and they would not.
And that's deep in itself, because what is it, the king or the husband?
Yeah, it says the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king.
A certain king, which is Yahushua. Yahushua, his death on the cross was a calling to the nation of Israel to wake up. But at first, the elect, and then it says that, and they would not come. That's us being out here right now, calling and calling and calling, and no one's listening. Or even worse, you're scoffing at it.
Yeah, and a lot of you people that are on the comment boards who come up against us, right? The scripture says that let every word, right? Every single word, you will give a testimony, or pretty much you will give an account in the day of judgment, man. So a lot of you people that scoff against us, because recently, I was watching one of the Akim out there in Dallas. He did a video about the Lord Yahushua, and you had this one Edomite that commented. He's like, Yahushua, ? Haha, is that the real Hebrew? And the dude was just scoffing. And so I answered, and I'm like, one day you will regret this comment that you've made here today, And the guy was just, totally bucked up. But my point is that, when you leave these comments, on these videos that we push out there, you will also be held accountable for those, man. Because when Yahushua returns, man, he knows every single thing that you did, whether good or bad. And it said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son. And he sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the marriage, to the wedding, and they would not come. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage.
That's funny. That's interesting, because everything, like, when you get an illustration of it, that's, Yahushua preparing the food, everything's ready, the table's set, Well, that's why all this wickedness, all this stuff is happening right now. It's like you have a pot, you put your spices, you put your meats, you put everything in there, you get it ready, you stir it up. That's what's happening in society right now. Everything's stirring up. We always say that we're in World War III, we're just not at the climax yet. So in other words, the stew needs to be cooked, it still needs to be cooked. And that's why when the brother read that, he had other servants to go out and call upon the people who didn't listen, because he has everything ready, which tells you we're near the end. We're near the end.
And and this is also an example of many are chosen, Salakia. Many are called, but few are chosen. You know, because it said what? It said that they were bid to the marriage, right? It says that, come on. It says, and sent forth his servant to call them that were bidden to the wedding. You know, they were bidden to the wedding, but they would not come. Why? Because they wanted to stay home and serve their women, man. You know, just like how the scripture says, you know, that a man would go out there, work and toil and do this and do that, all for his love, you know.
While she's just defiled his bed, you know, the night prior.
Yeah.
Or the one that they said that there's a hole in his wallet, because that's what it's like, man.
Yeah.
You work and you put your money in your wallet. You have a hole in your wallet.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
You know, but this is just an example of you have a lot of people that are called to this truth, but only a few are actually the ones that want to go. It's the same thing like when you invite your friends over, right? And you have a number of them, right? A number of people that you invited over, right? And you're working, you're cooking, you're doing this, you're doing that to prepare for them, and then they don't show up. That's disrespect, man. Or when they do show up, they don't want to eat. It's like, bro, you know, like,
When
fuck,
they show up late and they say, yo, can you let me in? You lock that door on them.
Too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
Too
I said
late.
5 o'clock p.m.
Yeah.
You're here damn near 7:30. You still want to, and you want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You want to sit down,
Yeah.
take off your shoes, put your nasty feet on my carpet, and relax and kick back.
Yeah, you want to chill in the kingdom when you haven't done shit.
Yo, man, you guys, Jake, you need like, and it's twofold because the kingdom's too righteous to have you Jakes come in the way you are now. You need to be destroyed. Yeah, you need to be cleansed to get into a place like that.
That's right. And it says, again he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen, my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. But they made light of it, and went their way, one to his farm, another to his merchandise, and the remnant took his servants, and entreated them spitefully, and slew them. And when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and sent forth his armies, and destroyed those murderers, and burnt up their cities.
Yo, that's heavy right there because that's literally a timeline of where we are right now.
They're gonna, one day.
Yeah, they're gonna kill us.
Yeah,
they're gonna kill us.
Yeah.
But he's gonna send forth an army, Lord willing, of the elect. That's when we become hunters, man. No more fishing. No more fishing. We're gonna hunt you niggas down. You know, it's gonna be ferocious.
Yeah.
It's gonna be violent, ferocious, man.
Exactly, because hey, the scripture says what? Like only one angel can destroy this whole planet, man. Now, when the Lord Yahweh was going through that trial, he said, "Don't you think that I could send,
cut the ear off of the soldier?"
Yeah, and like the Lord said, what? If this were my kingdom, my servant would fight, man. So hey, once the Lord makes us hunters, damn, man. Yo, you better hope that we're wrong, man. Honestly, you better hope that we're wrong and what we're doing here is wrong, because the same people that come up against us, really, when you think deep about it, there's an itch within them where they're like, fuck, man, what if these guys are right? I don't like what they're saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's why they get emotional, and that's why they scoff, and that's why they go as far as to try to kill us.
Exactly.
Because they think if they kill us,
then
okay, this will cease.
Yeah.
The truth will cease.
Exactly. Because if they thought that we're just a bunch of niggas who don't, who are worthless, whatever, right?
We wouldn't be popular.
Why would you care about what we say? We're just bums, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just bums, why does it matter? But because, that there's a possibility, that they believe that we could be right? It makes them tick, man, and that's why they go to that extent.
Yeah.
That's why the scripture says that, that our people have killed the prophets, man.
Yeah.
And it says, But they made light of it and went their ways. One to his farm, another to his merchandise. I read this already. And it says, verse 7, but when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and sent forth his armies, and destroyed those murderers, and burnt up their cities. Right? Then said he to his servant, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy.
That's okay.
Damn.
That is heavy, man. 'Cause that's like what you just said earlier. Many are called and few are chosen. Because even like, you know, it's like a spoiled brat. You know, you have a child who's entitled to all these riches because of his parents.
Yeah.
And really, you look at him and you see he has all this riches, but you look at his character, you're like, yo, you're not worthy of this.
You're not fit for it.
Yeah, you're not fit for this. You didn't earn this at all. You know, and yeah, because yeah, as Israel, we might be entitled through our heritage to entitled to salvation, and really, yeah, to salvation. But the question is, are we worthy of it? Have we earned it yet?
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, the only people in the nation of Israel, because salvation is only for Israel, not for the world. The only people in the nation of Israel that are actually trying to earn the gift that was given to them, as ironic as that sounds, is the elect. Because this knowledge and the faith behind this knowledge, the faith to believe in this wisdom, is a gift. The work is in what we're doing right now to show the Most High that, you know, we're deserved of this.
Yeah.
The will of the elect.
Exactly, because even within the nation of Israel, there is men that are worthy to receive, to pretty much get that first glimpse or that first,
First seat.
the first seat,
Yeah.
in the chariots and to the kingdom, right? Then those that are not worthy, man.
Yeah.
Because within Israel, there's an elect. And the ones that are chosen are the elect. Those are the ones that are worthy. And then the ones that are not worthy are the 2/3, man. And so you might have had some of the 2/3 that were actually called to come to the marriage, right?
All of them. Yeah.
Right? But they did not want to come. And so then they're not worthy.
Well, the scripture said they made light
Light
of it.
Yeah.
They didn't take it seriously. Yeah.
They just, took it for a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. These guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Look at these snow dummies out here in the winter, 30, 40 below, preaching God knows what they'll say.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Why people make light of this, and it's funny because they make light of something that through bloodline is theirs. Like you couldn't get rid of it if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like why? Like it actually makes no sense to make light of something that's blood related, give it to you.
Yeah, because you have some of our people like Cherry Love, who is all pretty much with Vocab Malone, who is an Edomite, right? She'll go out there and say that we're crazy, those black Hebrew Israelites out there are, they're just not knowing that she herself is an Israelite. You're an Israelite woman by blood, regardless of if you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the same thing, man. She doesn't realize that she herself is an Israelite. And you're talking crazy about us, but this is not a movement. It's pretty much, like what I'm trying to say is that our people think that this is something that we just,
It's a fact. We're moving now, we're getting excited now, it's gonna die off.
Yeah. This is our culture. And a part of our culture, like one of the Akim out there, that did a live show, very recently, we're talking about how that our people don't take shit serious, man, and rebuke.
Until it hits the fan.
Right? Rebuke is a part of our culture. There's a reason why the scriptures repeat themselves over and over and over, man. Because our people gotta hear it over and over and over and over again. Because rebuke is a part of our culture. And this truth, man, it doesn't end. It does not end at all, man. Because one of the brothers out there in Missouri, he made a great point. And what he said was that, he said that this truth doesn't end. When you look at your book, right? when you look at the very last, which is crazy because like I didn't even know this. When you look at the very last chapter of the book of Revelation 22, and when you flip the next page, it's blank, man, meaning that there's more to be written. You know what I mean? Because this thing does not end, man. And so even when we're in the kingdom, we're still gonna have to follow this.
Yeah.
We're still gonna have to follow this.
That's right.
It says, verse 8, Matthew 22, then said he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden are not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, as many as ye find, bid to the marriage.
And that's funny because when you go further into the New Testament, there was a contention between the Jews that knew that they were Jews and the Gentile Israelites who didn't know they were Jews. And the Gentile Israelites were more receptive to the wisdom, to the truth, than some of the Israelites actually know that they're Israelites.
Yeah.
That's what you call a spoiled brat, man.
Yeah.
Really, because they feel so entitled to the truth. Man, Yahweh was ready to start a nation with Moses, and Moses from the tribe of Levi. Where the Jews are then too. And the Most High at one point even went further and said John said he could start a nation with rocks. But like it's just like the old saying goes, you don't know what you've got until it's gone.
Yeah. Because those Israelites that were circumcised, they were being over righteous to a point where they destroyed themselves. It's almost like they knew who they were, but they were being over righteous. It's like, come on, man, like you gotta give these guys a break. You gotta, give them time to pretty much understand and come back to their natural ways. Not on the first day, are they gonna keep the commandments 100%, man? You have to understand that. But those Israelites that were circumcised, right? They were being over righteous, and the scripture says what? Be not over righteous much. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself, right? Or don't be over wicked, right?
Most definitely don't be over wicked.
Exactly, right? And so it's like, the Israelites that didn't know that they were Israelites, but were come to the fold, that were keeping the ways of the Gentiles. You had some of them that were more humble because they understood that they went the wrong way, man. I would rather work with someone, that's been called, or I would rather train someone, that was told that you're not shit, to prove the others wrong, man. Rather than, bring someone who's already at the top and they're just, pretty much cocky as shit. You know what I mean?
No work out there.
Exactly. There's no joy within that, man. That's why the Lord Yahweh Shemashah likes to work with the underdogs. Like, for example, David, man.
Read that scripture one time.
Yeah. It says, go ye therefore into the highways, as many as ye find, bid to the marriage. And it says, so those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both good, so like both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with guests. And it says, and when the king came in to see the guest, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. Which is this truth. And he said unto him, friend, how comest thou in hither not having a wedding garment?
That's certain men crept unawares, right? Because you got imposters too, man. These other camps that they call themselves Israel, and yes, they're teaching Israel that they are Israelites, but they don't got the full truth, and the rest of the world mingles us with them.
Yeah.
Which is not, it's not true. It's not right, because we have here at GMS, we have the 100% truth.
Yeah.
You can't mix something that's that pure with something that's semi-clean.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work that way. It's oil and water.
Yeah, it's the same thing like that scripture, Revelation 2:9. It says, those that call those that say that they are Jews but they're not Jews but are the synagogue of Satan.
Satan.
You know, that scripture is also twofold because you got some of
Yeah.
our people who come into this truth. They say that they're Israelites and then, you know, and that
They're about this work and all that.
you know, but really they are the synagogue of Satan, man.
Yeah.
They have actually sold out. Those are the ones that are crept in unawares, man.
Well, man, you know, a good example is that the camp leader for Atlanta.
Yeah.
He was
ex, you know, camp leader,
ex camp leader.
Yeah.
He was a crept unaware. And he was the servant that didn't have his what did it say? He didn't have his garment,
Wedding.
wedding garment. You know, even though and that's heavy, man, because you just never know, man. You never know. That man, the ex camp leader, you know, everybody watched that guy. You know, he would pull out scriptures and it looked like he had his garment. But little do you know, it's like he was actually wearing fabric from Walmart. He didn't get it from the actual brand name store. You know? So that's the thing, man. You can't fool the Most High. This truth is too pure. You can't. I said this last couple weeks ago. You have a white shirt, very crisp, nice white tee. The smallest dot that could be from coffee, you'll always notice it there. That's just because of how white that shirt is.
Yeah. Or
Same thing with the truth.
done. Or if you wash that white shirt mixed with the shit other type of different color clothes,
Yeah.
it'll never come out the same.
Yeah,
You know?
fake it.
Right? You know, so you can't mingle yourself with all these ideologies in this world, man.
Yeah.
You have to stay pure. You have to stay separate. You know, you have to stay white, you know?
And vice versa too, because they can't mingle themselves with us. You know.
So, and it says, and when the king came to see the guest, he saw there a man which had not a wedding garment, and he said unto him, Friend, how comest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless, and said the king to the servants, Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, man.
Hey man, don't get mad at us. How shy sanction it, man. We talk about the consequences, okay, for not coming to the truth as an Israelite, and you get upset with us. Remember, we're reading this from the book. You know, we're reading this from the book because this is how serious this is, man. It's not a joke. There's a scripture in 1 Peter's, I think, where it says, roughly paraphrasing, it was better for you to never come into the truth than to come in and fall out. It was better that you never known it, the truth.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's in Peter's, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sure you're going.
Because man, like that's what our people don't consider, is that, you know, they're even though like, yes, we're not holding, it's not like it's like a gang, but it's not like a gang, because like you get into a gang, once you get into a gang, you're never coming out, and if you come out, it costs you your life. It's the same thing with the truth.
That's right. This is 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 21, and verse 20. It says, for if after they have escaped the pollution of the world through the knowledge of our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, they are again entangled therein, and overcome. The latter end is worse with them than the beginning. Now this is the point. For it had been better for them to not have known the way of righteousness than after they had known it to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them.
Yep. No going back.
It's worse if you go back.
Yeah.
It's either you shouldn't have known at all, which is not going to be a thing because the scripture says that this truth will be published throughout the four corners of the earth, and then the end shall come, right?
Yeah.
And so everyone will get to hear about this, you know. But then there's ones who have actually been a part of it, where they were actually doing the work.
Yeah.
But then when they fall out, all of your work that you've done is nothing now.
Yeah.
Like the scripture says, that it's not going to be counted. Going back to the book of Matthew. And it says, for many are called, but few are chosen. You know? That was the next verse, which goes to show you the ones that are not called are the ones that are not worthy.
Yeah.
Or the ones that are not chosen. Because there's many that are called. And it says, verse 15, then went the Pharisees and took counsel that they might entangle him in his talk. This is, you know, Yahushua. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of Yahweh Hashem, or of Yahweh in truth. Neither carest thou for any man, for thou regardest not the person of men.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's like what is it? 3:8, but it said Ezekiel 3:8, make thy head strong against their head,
Yeah.
and thy fist to get strong against their fist. You know, it's weird that it's weird to be in this truth and to lack boldness.
Yeah.
You know, it actually, in a sense, that can lead you to being wicked. Because then, honestly, if you're in this truth and you truly believe it's the truth, you shouldn't have any shame towards it.
Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness.
Great boldness,
Yeah.
Khan. Exactly, right? When we are, our main job is to judge. You know, it's that simple, man. So shying away from that duty is really it's shying away from Yahweh Shai. And that's why Yahweh Shai was a great example of that, because, like the brother just read, the Pharisees said that he's a man that doesn't regard people, other men. Just says the truth. It's that simple.
Austere.
Because people's tone change when there's different people in the room, and that's a sign of weakness. Very weak.
Yeah, because you regard everyone, whereas you want everyone to be on the right. You want to be on everyone's good side.
Yeah, good side. Yeah.
But not everyone has the same mindset.
Go hand, join hand, and wicked shall not go unpunished.
Yeah. Verse 17, tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? But Yahushua perceived their wickedness and said, why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And they brought unto him a penny. And he said unto them, whose is this image and superscription? They say unto him, Caesar's. Then said he unto them, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto Yahweh the things that are Yahweh.
Yeah, that's right, man. Even us, man, being in this truth, we're about the elect. We're the first fruits. So we set the tone, set the example, and when it comes to being humble, we have to be more humble than anybody else because we know the truth. You know, but sometimes you get men that get a taste of this knowledge, and really, you know, it implodes their head, and then, you know, they end up being wicked and they fall out. Humility is your flashlight in this truth, man.
And it says, when they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. Verse 23, the same day came to him the Sadducees, would say that there is no resurrection, and asked him, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife, and said, and raise up seed unto his brother. Now therefore, now there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Likewise also the second and the third unto the 7th. And the last of all, the woman died also. Therefore in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the 7? For they all had her.
Yo, these Sadducees are really trying to test you how it shine, man.
Yeah.
With these riddles and such.
Yeah, you know, they're pretty much saying that in the resurrection, meaning in the spiritual realm, you know, whose wife is she going to be? Because, you know, she pretty much, all 7 of them had her. And it said, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua. Because this scripture also goes to the people who believe in the Immaculate Conception, man. You know, you don't know the power of the Lord. The Lord doesn't need to have sex, or the angels don't need to have sex. You know, the Lord doesn't need to have sex to have children. You know, because they're only look at it in a carnal way, man. You know, where that you must spill your seed, or you must bust a nut in order to have children. The Lord doesn't need to do that. He created that for men, for pleasure. You know, but it's also, exactly, but it's also, you know, there's also a spiritual aspect of it. You know? And it says, Yahushua answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scripture nor the power of Yahweh. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of Yahweh in heaven. So in the kingdom, or not in the kingdom, in the spiritual realm, when you call the third heaven, right? They don't have sex, man. They don't need to eat. They don't need to take a shit. They're pure energy. Okay? They have bodies that are pure. It's called it's called the terrestrial body. You know? We will get extraterrestrial bodies here in the earth, but
terrestrials.
So like, yeah, exactly, right? And so in the kingdom, or in the spiritual realm, right, they don't need to do the things that we do here. It's the same thing. The angels don't know what it's like to disobey the Lord. They don't, because they're created to obey Him. And it's not like they have the desire to disobey. Man, the angels love it when the Lord gives them orders, man.
Well, yeah, that's that.
Right?
Who will convince them?
Yeah.
Yo, I will. This is
Yeah.
my plan. This is my plan.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, they love to obey the Lord, man. They keep His commandment to a T. They don't know what it's like to go off. They don't know what it's like to bust a nut, man. They don't. You know?
Nor do they need to.
Exactly.
It's not their role.
It's not their role. But, you know, we were the angels. We were, you know, a part of that portion that were put on this side to get to experience these things, man. But though we're still brothers, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? Different lots.
Yeah.
Different lots, man. You know? And it says, for in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of Yahweh in heaven. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have ye not read that which was spoken unto you by Yahweh, saying, I am the power of Abraham, and the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, is not the power of the dead, but of the living.
That's right, man.
You know?
You can't say you're not living if you're not in the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually, those of us that are in this truth sincerely, we're actually the only people on this planet that are alive, truly.
Yeah.
Everybody else is dead because because they're spiritually dead. They don't, because they actually, especially our people, forget the other nations. They're doing what they have to do.
The
You
valley
saw-
of the dry bones.
Yeah, Valley
The
of
book
the
of
yeah,
Ezekiel.
yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't jump to that. Actually.
Huh.
It's about me now. Ironically, so even though it's Valley of Dry Bones.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, man, this is like this society. As brother said, it's the Valley of the Dry Bones, man. There's only little strands of meat, you know, within that valley, which is the elect.
It's the book of Ezekiel 37, verse 1. And the hand of the Lord Yahweh was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones.
That's right.
And he caused me to pass by them around about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry.
Yeah.
And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, Prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai.
That's right.
Then said the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live.
That's very interesting because when you look up the etymology of intuition, actually, I'll get that real quick.
That's right, because among those dry bones there were Salakia, not were, but there's going to be the elect, man, because at one time we were all dead. At one time we were all dead, where we didn't know who we didn't know our nationality, we didn't know the Lord's name, but the Lord caused breath into us and he made us live, man. But not every single one of the ones that were in that valley is going to wake up, man. Hence, the 2/3 of our people, they're still going to be dry. Okay? And they're not going to have any sinews, they're not going to have any breath in them, man. Which that breath is his knowledge, man. It's the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the scriptures, knowing who you were, first and foremost, being of the elect. Yahweh Bashim Shai has chosen you to be of the elect, then you will get, the truth, man. So
Yeah.
everything is ordained before the foundation of the earth, man. Come. And it says, and I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, man. And that's exactly what happened when we woke up to this truth, man.
Okay. Intuition. This is the etymology online, and it says insight, direct or immediate cognition, spiritual perception. Originally theological, from late Latin intuitionem, a looking at, consideration. To look at, which is spiritual perception. That's the thing, man. Our people's spiritual perception is very weak, or like Apostle Kabar likes to say, spiritual acumen. That's what the breath was to Adam and everybody else, because when Adam and Eve were on the planet, among everybody else, they were the only people that had rules, that had understanding of what they're doing. Everybody else just went off, was basically like animals, just went off of instinct, But our instincts and our intuition is of the truth, it's of Yahweh Shai. John 4:66 or 4:64, it says that, roughly paraphrase, that these scriptures are truth and life, and Yahweh Shai's spirit lives in the scriptures. I think that's John,
I believe.
John 4 or 6, something like that?
I think it's 6 and 66.
6 and 66?
6 and 63.
Con.
It is the spirit that quickeneth the flesh profited nothing. The words that I speak unto
Con,
you.
yeah, it's like I quoted that.
So,
It's like,
St. John chapter 6 verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth the flesh profited nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life.
they're a spirit and they're a life, man.
This is the spirit, man. The Holy
Exactly.
Spirit.
This is what's gonna give you dry bones, your meat, your skin, your sinews. It's what's gonna bring you back to life.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the term is born again,
Yeah.
to come back to life. Because really, it should just be born. Because the first time you were dead, you weren't born.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ted. And it says, so I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone.
Hey, when our apostles, okay, when they were out before 2007, they were out there on the highways and byways. Then when the YouTube got created, they were on the YouTube and the highways and byways. This thing really blew up. The truth really blew up. That was that great noise, man. So many brothers woke up via YouTube. If YouTube was never created, a lot of us would not be in the truth. A lot of us would not be in the truth.
Yeah.
You know, but that's that noise, man. That thing erupted. Now you got brothers all the way up in Hawaii. You got brothers up in Africa, in the UK. So now that's out there. Yeah, exactly. Australia, Alaska. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's that noise, man. And that's something that Esau, no matter how hard he tries, and no matter how much pride he has, he can't stop it. And it's because of his pride that he continually tries to stop it.
Yeah. And you even have one brother in the Philippines, man. You know, he said, you know, Brakata Yahweh Bashimel Shah to water for waking me up, man.
Yeah, the
you know?
Philippines, yeah.
And so it's like,
Ghana,
yeah, and it's like, what is he doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's why Ezekiel said, you know, as he prophesied, then these bones came together, man.
Yeah.
As he prophesied, and how did that happen? You know, by the way of the internet, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And
That's when we started waking up.
Because you know what, man? To go even a little deeper, lots of people, lots of so-called Christians and pastors, you know, preach the Bible on the internet. But it has when the apostles did it, they did it with full understanding.
Yeah.
And that's what bring our bones together and gave us life. Is that it was actually understanding, man, because I had heard so many different breakdowns on Revelation.
But it didn't really sit well.
It didn't sit well. It didn't resonate. I
Yeah.
forgot it the next morning
Because it wasn't the truth.
It wasn't the truth. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But when the apostles broke down, when they even broke down a verse, I never forgot it. I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap! That was just one verse.
Because it fits with today.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. It's
Yeah.
the truth. You know what I mean?
It's crazy because it makes sense. It's like, damn, all these years, I
Yeah.
thought this fucking Edomite was my friend. He's a devil. It made sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 1000%.
It made sense because of the characteristics, some of the things that they did,
Yeah.
I didn't understand, but I didn't know what the fuck it meant.
And it's crazy because
Right?
your intuition
Yeah,
was
it
not
was
gonna.
like,
Yeah, it was like
yo,
there's something off here.
Yeah. You know, there's something fishy about these people.
But
you know?
the funny thing is, if we didn't have the breath of the Most High, okay, if we didn't have the, well, I'm gonna hold that thought. There's one scripture if you want to look for it.
Yeah.
It says that without knowing the law, they still do right. The Israelites will bring that scripture out and hold it for a second. Because even when we weren't in the truth, you know, we still had the breath of the Most High in us. It was still left in us because, you know, there's certain brothers, you know, didn't eat pork before they came to the truth, and now when they're in the truth, it's now furthermore confirmed that they shouldn't be eating pork. You know, some brothers never got tattoos just because, you know, it just didn't sit right with them in their spirit, and now they're in the truth, it's again furthermore confirmed. But just like the brother was saying, man, when you heard the apostles break down these scriptures, you had no choice but to listen. You had no choice but to listen, because they were connecting the dots. They were actually they were connecting the dots. They were they were shedding light, or rather, they were shedding light on that intuition, that little inclination that you had in the back of your head. Yeah, and now that you know it's true, now you know it's facts, and you can go about we can go about our life with a lot more direction and clarity. There's no more confusion. That's those dry bones, coming together, and coming to and coming up into life. We live in a valley full of dry bones, and you can actually use America as an example for that, because America is a low land, and America's full of dry bones, and really the whole earth is full of dry bones, because our people are everywhere.
I know it's somewhere around here, but it's like
yeah, it's all good.
It must be. Is this from the school?
Oh, Romans.
In the book of
2.
Romans, right?
Yeah, 2 and 14.
That should be somewhere in the earlier chapter. 2 verse 14?
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Kind. Yes, that's the one. I knew it was like this, but
yes,
I was.
that Tony was.
Kind. Because I remember I thought that I highlighted it in blue, and so I was looking for somewhere right here.
Oh, okay.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 14. And when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are law unto themselves.
Man, these are the only people that are gonna have a chance to acquire this truth.
Yeah, and those Gentiles are Israelite foreigners.
Exactly.
Israelites who didn't know that they were Israelites, but it was in their spirit to keep these commandments.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why they were called Gentiles.
Yeah.
Being called a Gentile does not make you, exactly. Like, it doesn't mean that you are actually a heathen. For example, that one guy that was in the army with David, I believe. There's a few Israelites who were in the army in Israel, but they had the name of Canaan. That was attached to their name.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that they were Canaanites.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, that was just an example. But it said, for when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves, which show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness, and their thoughts the meanwhile accusing or else excuse one another.
Come on, man. Yeah, that's very true, because before you come to this truth and you're around wicked people and wicked things, you're kind of like, at first you're like, man, this is off, but you're like, whatever, the boys
this
are doing
is what
it.
they do.
This is what they do. I guess this is life.
Yeah.
But it's always knocking in the back of your head.
Exactly. And then you also have some people who, regardless of what others do, it's just, if it's not within their spirit and they can't do that thing, they won't do it. Because it's just who they are, man. I remember, before I came into the truth, and when I was, and for example, when I would read the scriptures, I didn't have any understanding, and I remember reading in the book of Exodus about the Passover, and, it said not to eat leavened bread for 7 days, I had no understanding, but I kept it, for 7 days, no bread, man, But I didn't know anything. Like, I didn't know when the Passover was. I just read it and I'm like, yo, this is what the scripture says, so I'm gonna do that, you know what I mean? And so it's like, you have some people who do that, man, because it's just within their spirit, you know? Going back to Ezekiel, it says, so I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I held, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and skin covered them above, and there was no breath in them. So you have some people who are still walking, but they don't have the breath. They don't have the knowledge.
Yeah, that's your guys that come by, salute you, see here, maybe standing for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, but then it gets a little heavy, then they leave. They dap,
Dip.
They dip. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Come. Verse 9. And he said unto me, prophesy unto the wind. Prophesy, son of man, and say unto the wind, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. Upon the four winds.
Deep, that these slain.
Yeah.
That means we were done when we were in the world. We weren't born.
You were overkilled when you were born and you were brought into this society.
God. Because the brother read that the prophesy to the wind, unto the four winds, which means the world, man.
Yeah.
The apostles did that through the YouTube.
Yeah. And which goes to show you that there's some Israelites, right, throughout the four corners of the earth, right, that were slain. Hence why you got some brothers that wake up from different parts of the earth, right, and they do this work. It makes sense. If when you get a so-called pastor to break this down, bro, I don't even want to know what type of breakdown that they will have, man, because everything that they talk about is within the pretty much the gain that you would receive in this kingdom, man. It's all about prosperity doctrine.
They don't get you ready for war. They don't get you ready for the downfall of this wicked kingdom. Because one, they want to make money. Two, some of them don't actually believe it. Some of them are actually fools up there preaching too. I mean, you got fools preaching to fools. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like the parable, or not? Yeah, the parable of when the blind lead the blind. Both of them will fall into the ditch.
Yep. And that dish is it's the nuclear missiles, man.
How can you be blind and crap, like
another blind friend.
First says, hey, listen up. I know where we're going. It's like you're blind, dog. And it says, verse 10, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Why did this exclude the other nations? Why didn't this say these bones are all the nations in the earth? It said that these bones are the house of the children of Israel, man, for a reason. Because only Israel are the ones who can actually receive that breath, man. Which represents this truth. And it says, then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dry, our hope is lost, we are cut off from our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your grave and bring you into the land of Israel.
Man, that's metaphorical, because that's like we're living that right now. We're living that right now, because in a spiritual sense we are, because like we said earlier, before this truth you were dead. You were in a coffin. Alright? And then when you heard the truth from the apostles, then you awoke out of your coffin, right? And you started to breathe again.
Yeah. And it says, And ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you out of your graves, and ye shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land, which means that what? We were scattered,
Yeah.
right? And it said, then shall you know that I am the Lord Yahweh,
Oh, Khan,
have
Slack it.
spoken it.
That was my point. Yeah, because the kingdom of heaven is first with us
Yeah.
right now, man. And then in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna be back in Israel,
Yeah.
the land of Israel.
The kingdom of heaven is a people before it's a place.
Khan, exactly. That's right.
You know? It's definitely a people first before it's a place.
That's right.
And it says,